It's a holiday. It's a holiday. It's a holiday. Oh man, yeah, it's Juneteenth. I'm recording on the 20th though. I'm recording on Monday. Maybe I'm recording on Juneteenth, who knows? But I'm just not gonna tell y'all because it's pre-recorded. So if you hit the comments during the live feed and I don't respond to you, no offense, but we do these shows pre-recorded because somebody is afraid to go live. And the dogs are barking in the other room, but guess what? We can't stop recording. That must mean somebody is at the door or at my neighbor's door who doesn't live there. Because they know her scent. They don't bark at her.
They don't.
Must be somebody new. Well, there's some big dogs in here, buddies. If you come in here, and I got a bigger dog that's way scared in them. Let me tell you, weigh 40 pounds, 40 calibers. Intruders are welcome to meet him.
All three.
Anyways, hi, how you guys doing? This is episode 181 of Big Baby's podcast, counting down to episode 200. And then we're not doing this anymore. So 19 more episodes.
I mean, we're still doing something, but we're not. It's a different
Yeah,
style.
Yeah, Big Baby's gonna grow up and put the bottle down. You see what I did there?
Don't confuse the people and think we're just disappearing or you're disappearing because you're not.
I mean, for a little while.
Yeah, but just to like rebrand, upgrade.
What was that? Lil' Kim, I've been gone for a minute, but I'm back with the jump off. Yeah.
Exactly.
Some will go for a minute and come back with the jump off. Ooh, we had a great week last week. Look at how many downloads we did last week. Yeah. We had a hell of a week last week, guys. We just hope you guys come over to the new podcast. We're definitely gonna post the first few episodes on that feed and send the link over on this feed. But let me do this because people call me while I'm podding, and I always forget to put my phone on do not disturb, and it's really annoying when you're like in the middle of a point or like a rant, and then somebody calls.
Yeah.
And it's usually Kyle because it's about, well, no, he's on his fishing trip. Because this is usually Kyle calling time.
Yeah, it is.
I can't wait to get him back on. But hey, it is the big baby.
That was dope.
Was it?
Yeah.
So I wanted to do a more calm introduction today because I want to do a more calm podcast. So I got an interesting DM yesterday, and the question was, why is Juneteenth celebrated on Juneteenth, and why do we not celebrate the ratification of the 13th Amendment, which was a constitutional amendment to end slavery? And I go, it's a pretty good question, actually. And I go, let me do some homework. But I think it's similar to Independence Day, the 4th of July. America wasn't free on the 4th of July. It was when we declared our freedom. We said, hey, England, pipe down. We're not giving you no more tax dollars. We're going to use our tax dollars internally here in the United States. But we celebrate the 4th of July as the Day of Independence, although we didn't become officially free until like 1783, I believe, in like August or something. Fact check that for me. The end of the Revolutionary War. Let's see how far off I was. And then, I looked at 3 significant, dates in the liberation of Black people.
September 3rd, 83.
I was
Close.
close. I was close.
Really close.
I haven't taken a history class since my junior year at Morehouse College. That was the first and only like I think C or D I made on a paper. Like it was bad. But anyways, let's get back to what we're talking about. So 3 significant dates. You have the notes that I can't read. January 1st, 1863, which was the Emancipation Proclamation, which essentially started the Civil War, made it like official. And I liken that to the Declaration of Independence. It is, hey, here's how we feel. And if this don't work out, this is what's gonna happen. And war ended up happening. And I think the Emancipation Proclamation gets a little too much like credit for being like this liberating document because it liberated slaves in the rebelling states, only resulting in about, I think I read 15 to 25,000 slaves being freed of the like 4.5 million or whatever the number was, the multi-million number of slaves. And technically, Abraham Lincoln didn't have jurisdiction over these states because they were rebelling states. They were the Confederacy, and they were led by Jefferson Davis. Shout out to Chew. His school was named after him. No, I take that back. It was not named after him. It was named after somebody else. But anyways, we push forward. And you sit there, you go, why are we looking at this document, And somebody I know, the same person who sent me that DM, the same person who gets himself in hot water with black people with some of the stuff that he says. He asks like legitimate questions and he has like these legitimate takes, but he puts them on social media and you go, hey, bro, you sound very insensitive right now. These are conversations for group text amongst friends who know you. And then you just come off like an agitator. I've had him on the pod before. I'm going to bring him back soon. Basketball season's over now, so I told him I'll bring him on. So we can chop it up again. But anyways, he was just like, yo, why do we give Abraham Lincoln this credit as the great liberator? Because he liberated slaves in states that were not technically a part of the United States anymore. That's like me going to say, Russia, you will change your policies. Not me, but, the president. Same boss. I mean, hell, like me. Who am I to tell Russia what to do? And so that's your Emancipation Proclamation, but that says, hey, we will not allow slavery anymore. Kind of, sort of. And then we have a war. Some will say it was not a slave war. Yes, it was. Stop. It was a slave war. There were other reasons. No. It's a slave war, okay? Then you have Juneteenth. Juneteenth is June 19th, 1865. And that happened in Texas, and it was the last Confederate state fell to the Union. So that's why we celebrate Juneteenth, because that's when it said, hey, the war about slavery is over because we beat all the people who want to keep the slaves. It's over with. Now, so it makes sense why we celebrate Juneteenth. And then you fast forward a few months later, and you have the ratification of the 13th Amendment in December 6th of 1865. I think that's a very significant day, but I think I like the celebration of Juneteenth. I think it has like a nice ring to it,
Right.
Because it's June 19th, it was Juneteenth.
Mm-hmm.
That's some like black people stuff, like, well, we just put some shit together and it's like Juneteenth. And then, I'm Southern, so I can call it Juneteenth. You know what I'm saying? All right, what y'all doing for Juneteenth? Yeah, we gonna celebrate Father's Day.
Yeah.
But why Juneteenth? I think you had an interesting Juneteenth experience today at work.
Yeah. So a lot of my coworkers were confused and unaware of this federal holiday.
Were they Caucasians?
Yes.
Caucasians.
Yes.
Okay.
All of them were. And so I had to tell them, and then I also pulled it up on Google just to make sure nothing important was
Hold on.
missed.
So you couldn't just tell them off the top of the dome what Juneteenth was?
No, I did.
You had to go to Google?
No. Oh my gosh.
You're supposed to play along. It's called creating content, woman.
Oh, okay.
Excuse me, wife. I can't call you woman anymore. It's wife.
No, I just made sure, they understood it in a way maybe that would make more sense to them.
But no, I think that's interesting, right? And it sparks a interesting thought because we have to be so aware of other people's culture. Excuse me.
Mm.
We have to be so aware of white American culture in order
Mhm.
to survive in almost every job. But they can literally be ignorant to damn near any and everything in
Yeah.
our culture and totally survive.
Yeah.
I remember having a conversation with a friend about how we got to watch shows like The Office and be familiar with Seinfeld references and see the Will Ferrell movies, and sometimes just to have a conversation with those that we work with.
Mhm.
God forbid you ask them to watch Boys in the Hood.
Right.
or you
Right.
or you quote Friday, and it's like a blatant quote, or you quote Life like "Shut your mouth and your fat ass, boy," or "I'm the pappy."
And they won't get it. They look at you. They look at you crazy.
What is that from? Excuse me, say what?
And it's not even what is that from? It's like, huh? They think that you're actually saying what you're saying instead of like, you know, repeating a line.
Anchorman's overrated.
Uh-huh.
I'll gladly standing down that hill. Anchorman is overrated.
I like it, but yes, it's overrated.
Yeah, I mean,
Because it's not, I don't love it.
yeah, no, I've gotten drunk off of Hennessy, but it's still overrated.
Mm-hmm.
But we got the Hennessy, man. Look here, I promise you, damn near everything in this bar tastes better than Hennessy. The Four Roses, not my favorite whiskey, but
Mm-mm. Yeah, I'm not a fan.
you don't like the Four Roses?
Mm-mm. I tried it once.
Well, what if I gave you like one rose? Like on The Bachelor, would you accept my rose?
I already did.
You're damn right. But the reason why we celebrate Juneteenth, because it commemorates an important time in American history where Black people were no longer officially slaves. They were just unofficially slaves and sharecroppers. It marked a step in the right direction for equality and equal rights in this country. It marks admission that, hey, we should not be allowed to make people work for us just because they exist. Now, an interesting piece about the 13th Amendment that I read today is that slavery is still allowed for punishment.
In the United States?
Yeah. I don't know if there's been an adjustment to that, but like the original 13th Amendment was just like outlawed slavery just for the hell of it. But you could still do it for punishment. So I guess that's what prison labor is.
Yeah.
Minimum wage.
Right. Right.
I mean,
you do see the demographic in there.
yeah, and you work for a little bit of nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's important that we celebrate Juneteenth. I think it's great that it's a federal holiday, and hopefully it picks up, more outside of just the Black community, and it becomes something that's not only monetized by the capitalists of this country. I'm not mad at you for monetizing it. I monetize Juneteenth. But it's something that's taken seriously. It's something that people take time to reflect on, educate themselves, and hopefully, just the thought of it, the discussions around it, the time off from work makes you go back and do that extra research and go, wow, this wasn't that long ago. It's not even 200 years ago. If my math, 2065. Yeah, it's not even been 200 years ago, that there were people who had to do work for other people for nothing in America.
Yeah.
Not in a sweatshop in China. That's different. We look past that. I mean, they put a lot of money into our economy, man. We're just gonna sit here and just act like we're human. No, come on, man. Anyways, I don't think forced labor is okay.